Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business.
Good morning, business warriors. It's another Monday, and you tune in to Monday Morning Motivation here on the Small Business Survival Conversations podcast. Today's message is about one of the biggest risks small business owners face. I know what you're thinking, but it is not competition, not cash flow, not inflation. It is outsourcing your thinking. I want to share a story that has been one of my favorites for years. A story that reminds us that education and judgment are not the same thing, and that even smart people can think themselves into trouble. This story comes from a book a dear friend handed me in college, a book that changed how I looked at decision making forever. And I think it's the perfect story for every small business owner listening today. So here we go. There was a man who sold hot dogs for a living. He was cheerful, hardworking, and one important detail, he never read newspapers, he never listened to the radio, and never watched the news. He just focused on serving great hot dogs. He stood by the roadside every day, calling out to customers with enthusiasm. He had a strong, booming voice that carried across traffic. His hot dogs were delicious. His service was warm. And because of that, his business grew. He put up bigger signs. He hired an assistant. Soon, he needed more buns, more supplies, and even a bigger stove. His business was thriving. One day, his son returned from college and his son looked worried. "Dad," he said, "haven't you heard? We are heading into a recession. The international situation is terrible. The domestic economy is unstable. Prices are going up. You need to be careful." The father didn't know what to make of all this economic analysis, but he trusted his son. After all, he was educated. So the hot dog seller began to change his behavior. He ordered fewer buns. He took down some of his big signs. He stopped yelling to customers. He reduced the quality of his ingredients. He tried to play it safe. And guess what happened? Just as his son predicted, his sales dropped. Day after day, fewer and fewer people came. Finally, the hot dog seller said to his son, "You are right. We really are in recession. I'm glad you warned me." But the truth? The recession didn't destroy his business. His fear did. He acted on someone else's judgment instead of trusting what he saw with his own eyes. Small business owners, listen closely. The world will always offer you experts, news headlines, economic predictions, and well-meaning people who claim to know exactly what's coming. But if the hot dog seller teaches us anything, this is it. Never let someone else's fear become your reality. The son was educated, yes. But the father had something far more valuable: good judgment and first-hand experience. The moment he stopped trusting his own eyes and his gut instincts, his business collapsed. This is the trap many business owners fall into today. You hear consumers aren't spending. No one wants your product anymore. The market is impossible right now. You should scale back before things get worse. And before you know it, you start shrinking, cutting marketing, reducing quality, playing small, and fading out. Not because the market demanded it, but because fear whispered in your ear. Let me say this clearly. Education is very helpful. Advice is useful. But your judgment is your most powerful business tool. You're the one closest to your customers. You're the one who knows what sells. You're the one who sees trends before anyone else does. Never trade that first-hand knowledge for second-hand fear. And here's the truth. Your business lives or dies by your decisions, not the media's, not your competitors, not the economy's, not even your well-intentioned friends or your college-educated advisors. Outside input is valuable, but only as one ingredient. That is not the whole recipe. You must think independently. You must evaluate your own data. You must trust what you see happening in your business, in your community, and with your customers. The hot dog seller didn't fail because the economy changed. He failed because he changed unnecessarily. All right, business warriors, it's Monday. Let's turn this story into momentum. Here are 3 action steps to strengthen your decision-making muscles this week. Number 1, I want you to audit where you've been outsourcing your thinking. I want you to ask yourself, whose opinions have I been adopting? Where am I making fear-based decisions? What am I scaling back without real evidence? Write them down, because awareness is the first step towards better judgment. Number 2, I want you to look at your data, not headlines. Headlines are dramatic. Newspapers, they want to sell more, or news outlet, I should say, they want to sell more news. Social media, it is noisy. But your sales numbers, your customer feedback, your traffic, engagement, and local market behavior tell you the truth. Make one business decision this week based solely on your own data. Number 3, I want you to act boldly in one area this week. Maybe it's adding back a marketing effort you paused. Maybe reaching out to customers again, launching something you've been sitting on, increase visibility instead of hiding. Do something proactive, not fearful. Remember, momentum builds confidence. Inaction builds doubt. You're the expert on your business. Trust your instincts. I want you to trust your observations and never shrink yourself to match someone else's fear. Thank you for spending your morning with me on Monday Morning Motivation. Now go out there, trust your judgment, and build the kind of business only you can build. Until next time, keep fighting the good fight, business warriors.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.